This Good Morning Northwest morning spread is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53, time to get you ready to take on your Wednesday in the morning sprint.
Sydney Charles has new details on comments from President Biden on why he is running for re-election.
But first, let's get over to Mark Peterson talking about another day of rain ahead.
Let's get right to the radar and show you what's going on in our First Alert Weather. And the First Alert Weather app, by the way, if you haven't downloaded the latest version, do that. Get it updated. You'll love it. We continue to see the rain in our area, and it's right along I-90. So south of that, drying out to the north, you're going to stay in the rain throughout the day. Temperatures right now, we're into the upper 40s. It's very mild. Our day today, yeah, it's going to be light rain this afternoon with a high of 49.
Lake City Council has passed a controversial ordinance that would give it some control over the library board. After several hours of discussion, the vote passed 5-2. Mayor Chris Kaminskis, who vetoed a similar ordinance in May, has said she will not veto this decision. According to council member Chris Cargill, there's nothing in the ordinance that will allow them to ban books. He says the library board will still make the policies, but the council can review them.
We're hoping to learn more today about how a man ended up dead in the street in West Central Spokane yesterday. The body was in the road at the intersection of Augusta and Pennant Drive near the West Central Community Center. Medics did try to revive the man, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say it's a possible hit-and-run situation, but right now it's too early to tell. The name of the victim has not been released. This is still a developing story, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more.
We have new details on the police shooting that killed a suspected shoplifter in front of the Walmart in North Spokane. According to the Spokane Independent Investigative Response Team, a police officer working security at the North Colton Walmart saw a man possibly stealing merchandise with a device meant to remove anti-theft tags. The officer then confronted that man as he tried to leave the store. A fight broke out as two officers tried to handcuff him. Officers then tased that man. Investigators saying at some point somebody yelled "gun." The Spokane police officer then says the suspect had been shot. He was later pronounced dead at the scene.
The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office has identified the human remains that were found near Timber Ridge Road last week. The remains found by hunters on November 26 have been identified as 36-year-old Jacob Keith Fulweiler from Rathdrum. Now, Fulweiler was reported as a missing person with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office back on February 20th. The cause of death and toxicology reports are still under investigation by the Kootenai County detectives.
The jury trial is set for the man charged with the murders of 4 people in Kellogg. This family of 4 was shot and killed in their home nearly 6 months ago. The man accused is their neighbor. Major John Kaler is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. According to court documents, the parties in the case were said to be trying to mediate outside the court in hopes of reaching an agreement. But now, a trial is set to start March 4th.
A former staff sergeant at the Fairchild Air Force Base will be sentenced today. He pleaded guilty to stealing ammunition. According to court documents, John Sanger and Eric Eagleton hatched a plan to steal up to 3,000 rounds a day from the base. Now, Sanger was being investigated for anti-government social media posts leading up to the January 6th Capitol riot. He pleaded guilty to theft charges and was court-martialed with a dishonorable discharge.
The off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot who's accused of trying to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight is no longer facing attempted murder charges. Cheney High School grad Joseph Emerson still faces 84 charges of reckless endangerment, one for every person on the plane. His lawyers say he never intended to put anyone at risk or hurt anyone. They also say he took mushrooms 2 days before the flight. Emerson is set to be arraigned tomorrow.
And new details on Capitol Hill. President Biden saying he's not sure he'd be running for re-election if former President Donald Trump wasn't also in the race. Biden made headlines at a closed-door fundraiser when he said, quote, "If Trump wasn't running, I'm not sure I'd be running." That statement came as he portrayed Trump as a threat to democracy. Former President Donald Trump appeared on Fox News last night where he was asked whether, if elected, he would retaliate against his political opponents. His answer and what he says he would do on day 1 if elected back into the White House is coming up next on Good Morning America.
The Park Holiday Light Show will shine once again this year. This weekend, the volunteer run event is free. Saturday and Sunday, it's drive-through only viewing from 6:30 to 9:30. Then Monday, you can walk through the Winter Wonderland. We'll be live from Manitou Park tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest to give you a preview of the light show. In the meantime, you can check out the details on KXLY.com.
Should be gorgeous.
We'll check in with weather and Mark right after this break.